This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. I am Tori here with Al. We've got a little special show for you.
I'm special?
Yeah,
Yes.
You are, and also this show is. We've had a lot of stars and celebrities stop by DBL over the years, and today we're taking a look back at some of the best and funniest moments. So sit down, buckle up. You see my pantomime work in action, and let's have some laughs. Everybody, take a look.
I was the first in a comedy variety show.
Did you feel a special sense of responsibility as a woman?
No.
Or did that not even come into it?
It never occurred to me.
My poor son is just humiliated by the fact that he's my child and my mother's grandchild. So I feel like I constantly have to apologize.
Kim Fields is here.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a fan. I'm open about that at this mic. You know,
Bless you.
yeah. I don't know, I'm hungry. How about you guys?
You and Ray Donovan, fire.
One thing the Republicans and Democrats all agree upon, they love Ray Donovan.
You just,
Oh, yes, I'm Canadian, eh?
Oh, yes,
Oh, yeah,
I'm
Canadian there, eh?
sorry
We
about
get her
that.
done in Canada.
All right, we're going to kick things off with some of our favorite comedians. And who better to start our trip down memory lane than the OG of female comedians and my personal hero, Carol Burnett. Take a look. In 1967, you were given the Carol Burnett show, and it was a woman in a variety show.
Yes.
Nowadays, that's sort of normal. Amy Schumer's, we see that.
Yeah.
You were sort of the first.
Well, I wasn't the first in variety. Dinah Shore was, but it was a musical variety show. I was the first in a comedy variety show.
Did you feel a special sense of responsibility as a woman?
No.
Or did that not even come into
It
it?
never occurred to me because it was all I knew, because I had started out on the Gary Moore show, and I was the second banana on that show. I was given all kinds of different characters and wonderful sketches to do. The junior writer on the Gary Moore show was Neil Simon.
Are you serious?
Yeah, we called him Doc Simon. So when I had this wonderful caveat in a contract with CBS, I said, no, I want to do an hour variety show. And they had to put it on for 30 shows. They wanted me to do a sitcom, and I said, I don't want to do the same person week after week. I want to put on wigs and black out my teeth and do pratfalls and have music and guest stars.
How do you feel about blue comedy, edgy comedy?
Blue and edgy is okay if it's clever. When it's gratuitous, I go, I'm bored. I tune out because I'm sick of having people, talk about their bodily parts. I don't need to hear that unless it really makes sense.
Hearing Carol Burnett say bodily parts was really funny.
Yeah, I mean, but that was that was one of the first times I ever cried on the show, was just seeing the emotion you had towards that interview. I mean, you're sitting across from your idol. That must have made you feel like every step that you took to get to where you are in your career was worth it.
Yeah, and it was, when they say don't meet your idols because they're mean, that woman was like the nicest, most Midwestern, was just like kind as all heck.
Right, yeah.
And that's what she says, heck a lot.
I was about to say, you got real Midwest right there.
I sure did. Melissa Rivers, speaking of great comedians, also swung by the studio. Check out her. That's your.
Now, you just keep reading, because to everybody at home, Tori continues to read my lines. Check out her take on silent haircuts, and if you don't know what those are, Sam explains it all. Take a look.
Sorry.
All right, we've all been there in the salon chair, ready to get your hair cut, and your hairdresser won't stop talking. A salon in London has a solution to that. At no extra charge, clients can opt into a so-called silent trim. The owner says it's okay to want some quiet time. Now, if a salon, though, Melissa or Jeff, if a salon does not have this option, what do you say? Because I know a lot of people would feel rude saying, hey, I just don't want no chatter. I just want to be quiet for the next 2 hours. 4 hours if you're getting your hair done where I get my hair done.
Yeah.
But would you feel rude? Would you say something?
I think you have to go in and say, I've had a crazy day. I'm exhausted. My brain is fried. Oh my God, I can just not wait for a few minutes of just peace. What gets me crazy though, and you have to, is salons that you walk into and the music's blaring. And that's always a tough one because you can't be like, can you please turn down the music?
I know.
But I do agree, especially with like special needs and autistic. Some people don't like sensory overload. I hate loud restaurants. You know, I don't want to scream at the person next to me. But I think it's fine to go in and ask if you could just sort of.
I do too.
You know, just
Jeff, how would you handle it?
I would do exactly what Melissa said. Listen, I had a rough day. I don't really feel like talking. Be social. That's not being rude. I think going in there and just not talking and you're just weird. Everyone, what's up? Everyone just wants to hide behind a computer and be social. What happened to face-to-face talking? What happened to talking to your Uber driver?
What if you don't feel like talking?
You talk.
But what if you don't feel like talking?
You got to bite the bullet. You got to go in there and be social.
But you can be social at restaurants.
Let's stop swinging our arms then when we walk.
No,
Let's all be weirdos.
You can walk in
It doesn't mean you're a weirdo if you don't want to be
Why
social.
can't you walk in and just say, wow, I've had a crazy day, or I just,
Definitely say that. Be social.
Oh, you mean
you don't have to come in with a sign that says,
"Do not
I'm
speak."
not talking today.
No one's saying you.
Yeah, because that's weird. That's where we're going, and if we allow this, it's just going to get weirder.
Wow, that is aggressive.
Is your longest appointment ever, Jeff?
Yeah, you don't know.
How long?
Well, it takes obviously a lot of time, more than we realize, to come out like this.
How long does it
How long
take?
are you generally in a salon or wherever you go?
I don't know. I don't feel like talking right now.
Because you know you're wrong.
That's right. I think getting into his grooming is a sore subject.
I have a girl crush on Melissa Rivers.
I like Jeff because he just says what he feels. There's something about his honesty. That's why people love him. He just says, he's not like, oh, I agree. He's like, no.
That's stupid, and that's what we are. Beat it.
I love it.
That's Jeff. All right, Melissa was back on the show during the pandemic. She joined us from her home in New York City and filled us in on what life has been like in quarantine. Take a look. One way you've been spending your free time is by sharing your mother's jokes. My goodness, I love it on Twitter. Here's one of my favorites you shared, and I'm Jewish, so I can say that. It says, I'm Jewish and don't exercise. The only time I bend down to touch my toes is to see if I need a new pedicure. Tell us about these joke cards, Melissa.
Well, she has that very famous joke file, and every joke has been, even though a lot went onto the computer as she progressed, everything traditionally was still typed out on an index card and filed and cross-referenced. So we've been, sort of going through them. We do have a database now. And I just thought, everyone keeps asking me what would my mom say, or as I like to say, WWJS.
Yes.
And we just started posting cards.
That's what I say to myself. What would Joan Rivers say?
I love her.
I know.
She's got so much personality.
I know, and she reminds me a lot of Joan.
Yeah.
Like I know Joan.
Well, it's her daughter.
Oh, yeah,
so
that's a good point.
Checks out. Tom Green was on at the beginning of the pandemic. And
good job with the camera work.
And admitted he's having to do things a little differently, including ordering from Amazon for the first time. Watch.
We have our friend comedian Tom Green joining us live.
I love that shot.
Yeah, look at you. Wow.
Hello, Tori, Al, how are you today?
Wow.
Thanks for having me on.
Thanks. That looks like a great pad. Are you outside?
He's like thriving in quarantine.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I'm quarantined here in my living room in Los Angeles, and yeah, it's good. It's a little weird. I'm home alone, so I'm in this place all by myself, and it's pretty strange.
I can't imagine what Tom Green thinks in his head when he's all alone. What has it been like for you? I heard you used Amazon for the very first time.
What?
Tom. I know.
Yeah. Isn't that weird that I've never used Amazon before? Because I'm normally pretty up on technology, but I'd not used Amazon before. I ordered because I wanted to order emergency supplies in case this went on for longer than we expect, and I hope it doesn't happen. But I've got, you see in the video, I've got some sardines, I've got some pasta, some canned tuna, some canned salmon. I wanted to have some corn, extra corn, because you need vegetables. They say you can subsist and live a fully balanced diet off of corn, rice, and beans. So I ordered a dozen cans of corn, and I'm waiting for them now. And I'm very, very excited about my corn. It's interesting, if you'd told me when I was a kid that someday I'd be a 48-year-old man alone in my home waiting for cans of corn like it's Christmas coming, I would have said, what?
That's so much
That's like
corn.
something a mean guidance counselor would have told you.
You're going to wait for corn alone. I don't know why it's funnier that it's canned corn.
Yeah, I'm a cream corn guy.
Are you?
I do. I like it.
I think I am, too.
Spent a lot of time in the South. I think that's where that comes from.
You know what I love?
What's that?
Corn chowder.
I haven't had that. Sound like you made that up.
No, it's a thing.
It's not a thing.
It's a thing. More laughs are on the way. Coming up on DBL, Mark Summers joins Al and Jeff at a Colorado bakery where you definitely will not find your mama's cookies. And Al, you remember the time you got starstruck when we had Kim Fields on the show?
Yes. Still starstruck.
Yeah, she's stunning. That's still ahead.
COVID-19 cases seem to be leveling off, but now we're seeing big spikes across the country and here in the Carolinas. So is this the second wave we were warned about? Let's connect the dots. Doctors compare infection waves to ocean waves. An ocean wave comes ashore and quickly recedes before another comes in. When applying that logic to the coronavirus, doctors say a second wave implies that that first wave has completely disappeared, which we know hasn't happened. Experts also say we have to get through 2 weeks without community spread of the virus before we can say we passed that first wave. Again, we know that's not the case anywhere just yet. Instead, doctors say those states with increasing case counts like North and South Carolina are just seeing a spike as part of that first wave. The second wave likely won't be here until fall or winter. And that is Connecting the Dots.
Hi, I am Tori Schulman, and I am DBL's Legal Eagle. So I was born and raised in Washington, D.C., not Virginia, not Maryland. Washington, D.C. What's coming up in DBL that's very exciting is some strong conversations and some sparks are gonna fly. The co-host that makes me laugh the most is Al, because he's funny, and then also Jeff, because he's so sad. That's you're sleeping. Anywho, I'm really looking forward to Lindsay joining the show because she's gonna bring my game up, keep me on my toes, but also get a little taste of the Schulmanator. Instead of saying, he's wrong, he's not. We saw the percentages. I'm always interested in what you, the viewer, has to say. And I'm not scared to debate you because sometimes you win.
What's up, DBL Nation? Al Jackson here. I'm the host that brings a little bit of levity to the panel. Let's be honest, things get a little serious. Sometimes you gotta break that up with a little humor. That's where I come in.
Why can't you be an adult and be uncomfortable for a few hours? It's all right.
Something viewers might not know about me, I have a degree in biology. I know, it's weird. I wasted my money. And then I decided to go to graduate school for biomedical sciences. So that happened. The co-host that makes me laugh the hardest is Tori. She's one of a kind.
I'm just saying anything is possible if you trout yourself.
The co-host that irritates me easily is Tori. She's one of a kind.
Tori, does that taste like a neighborhood you've never been to?
Oh my God!
DBL is bold. DBL is unfiltered. DBL is uncensored. DBL is slightly censored.
Welcome back to DBL. Mark Summers has been a huge friend of the show. You might remember him from Nickelodeon's Double Dare.
That's right, and who could forget the time he took me and Jeff to a bakery here in Colorado? But it's not what you think. Watch.
Hi everybody, I'm Mark Summers, and I thought it might be fun to unwrap some brownies. And when you're here in Denver, you want to get the baked goods that get you good and baked.
You mean like marijuana?
Yeah.
Like hitting those trees?
You mean like the bubonic chronic?
Guys, I'm talking about the devil's lettuce. So what do you say we go to Better Baked Edibles to find out how this stuff is really made?
I say we roll out of here.
Marijuana is legal in 29 states, and in Denver, the green business is blooming. Elise Gordon and Deloise Baden are the owners of Better Baked, an edible company specializing in hard candies and baked goods. By adding cannabis oil extracted from the marijuana bud, you can take any recipe to a new high. First up, Better Baked's diced candy.
Every cube on the rec side has 10 milligrams.
These hard candies are made by boiling sugar, water, and that cannabis oil. Then pour the sticky, icky liquid into molds.
I thought this was like Jell-O that makes your kids tolerable.
Well, it'll make your kids tolerable, but it isn't Jell-O.
After they sit for an hour, they are ready to be consumed.
Is it lime? Looks like apple, maybe.
Green apple.
Wrong.
Really?
Pineapple.
Pineapple. See, I'm already high. I don't even see the right colors.
Up next, butter shortbread with chocolate chips. Start with brown sugar, butter, chocolate chips, and again, here comes that cannabis oil. Mix it all together with flour. And now the only thing left is to roll out the dough.
What you're going to do is grab some dough.
Okay.
You're going to make it into just enough so that it weighs 0.25.
Ah, look at that. Again.
Are you guys worried about your job security? I think you should be.
Hey, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed me unwrapping brownies, and join me next time when we unwrap some of your other favorites. I don't know, I'm hungry. How about you guys?
Oh, those milkshakes look so good.
Munchies.
The Mile High City, aka Denver, is not only known for its baked goods, there's an even stranger food tradition. Take a look as me and Jeff, we tried Rocky Mountain oysters with my boy Scott Wolf. Check it out.
What's up, guys? Jeff and Al here, two-man crew. We're at the Buckhorn Exchange, Denver's oldest restaurant. We have a very special guest joining us today, our boy Scott Wolf.
That's right, but Jeff, man, I love Scott, but we're not really two-man crew.
You're right, man. We need a new name.
Party of three. We're gonna try one of Denver's finest delicacies, but you have to trust me. I trust you. All right, let's head in.
Let's go do it.
Hey, Scott, you know the Buckhorn is filled with crazy things from the Wild West? Like, look at this, the wedding dress of Sitting Bull's daughter, and President John F. Kennedy's fishing license.
We're in the back with our man, executive chef Caesar. What's going on, Caesar?
Hi, nice to meet you guys, man.
Caesar, we're making Rocky Mountain oysters today, right?
Yeah, correct. I love oysters, but what is that? That's a Rocky Mountain oyster. You guys got to help me to prep it?
I would love to.
Yeah. First, we have to peel long side.
Is this oyster something that I'm not fully aware of?
The bull. You know, this is the skin. That's what I like to grab it with the towel so it doesn't slide out of your hand.
Right. I should have known not to trust Al. Oh, this is a bull. Time to slice him up. I'm out. Oh, I got it in my eye. Chef, you're up.
Round two. So we're gonna cut up the Rocky Mountain oysters now, huh?
Slice them up.
Okay.
Cut it like a 1/4-inch thick.
Ooh, that's cold. I'm doing a pretty good job, right? Last piece, let's say.
Listen, Scott and Jeff, they're okay, but when it's time to make the food, you got to bring in the closer.
Coat it with this flour. Okay.
Ugh, it's cold. So they sell about 10 tons a year. Not only is that amazing, I love it. Here goes, DBL.
No, this take about 4 minutes. There you go, guys.
All right, thank you, Caesar.
You're welcome.
Caesar, before you go, we have one thing to tell you.
Hail Caesar!
Hail Caesar!
Thank you, man. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're doing the whole thing? Are you doing the whole thing? I'm doing the whole thing.
Whole thing. 3, 2, 1.
Cheers, fellas.
Cheers.
That was so stupid.
Yeah.
Hail Caesar.
I don't know if you were talking about that or my hat. Like I should be selling. Yeah, that
you
was.
were like the alto in a barbershop.
Yeah,
quartet.
that was a phase. We all go through little phases.
You did. You went hard for the hat.
Yeah, I did.
You went in.
Yeah.
And no longer?
No, I don't think so.
We phased out.
I feel him coming back.
Yeah. Coming up on DBL, actress Sheryl Lee Ralph shares some of her best parenting advice ever that we've ever heard on the show. At least that's what Al said.
Looking fierce.
Yeah, she looks fantastic. We'll be right back.
As the coronavirus spreads, so do myths and rumors online. And that's why our Verify team is here. We're looking at online claims and finding out if they're real. Like this one on Facebook about Clorox splashless bleach. It says, important to know, splashless does not disinfect. The post says splashless is different from regular bleach and, quote, only whitens, brightens, and deodorizes. So we're verifying, does regular Clorox splashless bleach disinfect? Our Verify researchers checked with the Environmental Protection Agency and the Clorox Company for the answer. First, we should point out there is both a regular and scented version of the splashless bleach. We're specifically talking about the regular version. According to guidelines, before a product can add disinfectant on its label, it has to go through EPA testing and be approved by state regulators. A Clorox spokesperson says when the product was first introduced into the market, it was developed for laundry and couldn't be labeled as a disinfectant because it hadn't gone through the EPA approval process. But with the pandemic, the company pushed to get it done. A Clorox spokesperson says, quote, we have now completed the EPA registration process and are able to claim Clorox regular splashless bleach as a disinfecting bleach. Clorox says we should expect to see regular splashless bleach with updated disinfecting instructions on store shelves later this summer. Our Verify team checked the EPA's website and found regular Clorox splashless bleach was added to the list of approved surface disinfectants on May 20th of this year. So we can verify, yes, regular Clorox splashless bleach is registered as a disinfecting bleach.
If you're too good to return your card, obviously you're a bad person. I don't want you as a neighbor. I don't want you as a friend. I judge people on how they use their turn signals and their shopping carts. And if you do neither, you are not my friend.
Welcome back to DBL. Get your stick and your bandana. We're taking a trip down memory lane with a look back at some of our favorite stars who have stopped by.
Who would take a trip like that? That bandana is very insecure.
Like, you know, like a hobo down the road.
I know, but just get a bag. It's 2020. You've got to hear our girl Cheryl Lee Ralph's parenting advice. It was amazing. She even had Sam and me convinced. Take a look.
Giving birth is no walk in the park, but wait till you see what doctors are giving to women to make it easier. Virtual reality headsets.
Now that's so sad.
Why?
Oh, it's so
Cheryl.
sad. I tell you, there was only one thing I screamed for to make it better, and I was like, "Give me drugs!"
Okay, my first one was unmedicated, so it was hell. So now this time around, I'm going to take it all.
Yeah,
give me the drip.
No.
Give me the headset.
No.
Give it all to me.
No, because trust me, part of that is going to come out in your child.
So you think I should be unmedicated again?
You should do whatever's going to make you feel most comfortable without all that extemporaneous stuff, girl.
No.
You think about it. Think about everything you're going through. So the moment they piss you off at 16, you say to them, "You know what I went through for you." That's what you do.
That's true.
Hold on to it.
And I will. Oh, man.
That was the most
Cheryl,
convincing argument I've ever heard on this show.
This is real.
That made me want to have a baby.
Okay. Yeah, right.
That's my girl.
Her presence is like crazy.
And just like, she just has nothing but facts where you're like, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that too.
And I also agree with that. And then I'm like, oh, who are you married to? Oh, a senator? Oh, wow. You guys a whole DC.
Nice life she's carved out for herself.
Yeah, really good job. Coming up on DBL, she was a beloved child star who continues to impress. We sit down with the one and only Kim Fields. That is next on DBL.
Natural hair, baby, yeah, that's all me. Comeback queen, you know what they call me. Radio girl, now I'm on TV. Shot girl, found a home out in 303. I sat around just waiting to exhale. My new love is a real life Bronx tale. Cali girl swag, you know that never failed. I'm cruising down, baby, yo street in a Range Rover, bounce back, baby. I had to let him know, had to let him know, I had to let him know, had to let him know, I had to let him know. Down, baby, yo street in a Range Rover, bounce back, baby. I had to let him know, had to let him know, I had to let him know, had to let him know, I had to let him know. Natural hair, baby, yeah, that's all me. Comeback queen, you know what they call me. Radio girl, now I'm on TV. Shot girl, found a home out in 303. I sat around just waiting to exhale. My new love is a real life Bronx tale. Cali girl swag, you know that never failed. You know that never failed. I'm cruising down, baby, yo street in a Range Rover, bounce back, baby. I had to let him know, had to let him know, I had to let him know, had to let him know, I had to let him know. Down, baby, yo street in a Range Rover, bounce back, baby. I had to let him know, had to let him know, I had to let him know, had to let him know, I had to let him know. Let him know, had to let him know, I had to let him know, had to let him know, I had to let him know.
My name is Erica Cobb. My hair is 100% authentically me, and so are my opinions.
I am from Chicago, Illinois, and that's where my career started. My role on the panel is the voice of reason. If sometimes you want to be questionably unreasonable.
It's part of growing up.
Get him, girl.
And this is part of it.
Growing up, Al, is part of growing up. It's super disrespectful.
Revealing my natural hair on live TV was one of the most liberating things I've ever done.
Let me tell you, I would have been in the salon a long time ago if I knew it got a standing ovation.
And as a result, I know that that's affected a lot of other women who want to be their most authentic self. And I carry that with me every day. DBL is unapologetic. DBL is organic. DBL is fearless. DBL is you.
Welcome back to DBL. Another famous actress who stopped by the show was Kim Fields. And Al totally fangirl.
No shame in that.
Isn't that right? Take a look, buddy.
And I'm not going to lie, I'm a fan. I'm open about that at this point. And, you know,
bless you.
I grew up watching you. And I'll just, I'll say this, and I've talked to a lot of my friends, and they just say, they don't make shows like The Facts of Life anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any reason like why that is? Because I feel like so many people could look at somebody on that screen and identify with somebody on that screen. And I don't know if we have that as much anymore.
I think as a content provider, I feel like, you know, society has changed so much. Our sensibilities have changed so much in terms of what our main set of sensibilities are. But that being said, we all, whether you want to call it guilty pleasure or just kind of that closet nostalgia, whatever it is, we all still long for that. So I think we're trying to find that balance, which is why you have so many reboots, which is why you have so many people clamoring to networks like MeTV and some of the other ones, because they do want that. And they want to share that even, all right, change it now. Thanks, guys. But they do want that for their kids even, you know, and to be able to tap into that. But we're just in such a different time and place as society, you know, and as a culture. So I feel like that's kind of why there's not really shows like that that are new, but being able to kind of revisit it, but still stay as edgy. And we used to have a saying, you know, push the envelope. There's no more envelope. Right. There's no more cliff to push anything off of. It's just open season now.
Well said. She looks exactly the same.
Like, yes, like,
exactly.
Like she's just been preserved.
Like,
yes.
right, even the beret, which I always used to do, and then pretend to be a part of the Rhythm Nation.
Oh, little Janet Jackson?
Mm-hmm, a lot of like.
Then that's enough.
A lot of elbows,
We want to keep our viewers.
I definitely hurt myself a couple times dancing. What did you love about Kim Fields?
I just love that she's a really authentic person that had something to say. Not just like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like people with a point of view, you know, and they don't care if somebody disagrees with them as long as they feel like they get their point across, which she does.
You had a little crushy?
Little
crushy, huh?
Can't speak on that on camera.
You can always catch DBL, always, on Facebook and YouTube. We've had a great time. You've had a good time?
I had an incredible time.
Too. I hope we will see you later. And let's all pray for Al to go back into his hat phase. Yeah? We'll see you later. With scams on the rise, we've got your back. We got some tips from the Federal Trade Commission to help keep you and your money safe. So first off, we want to ignore online offers for any vaccination and home test kits. There are currently, and I'm going to say this in bold, no vaccines, pills, potions, lotions, or lozenges that treat or cure the COVID-19 disease or the coronavirus. Next, know who you're buying from. Online sellers might claim to have those masks that you want, but I want you to make sure you're getting them from a trusted vendor. So maybe look at reviews, check out their score, and then don't respond to text and emails about checks from the government. This is huge. Anyone who says they can get you the money now is a scammer. Finally, watch for any emails claiming to be from the CDC or experts claiming that they have info about the virus. For the most up-to-date info, we want you to visit their websites instead, because those are guaranteed. And make sure it's not cdc.com, right? It's cdc.gov. Things like that are important.
Right. We talked about this, I believe it was maybe last week when we were doing the LifeLock segment, when they said let the cursor hover above the email address and make sure it's the email address you want to send it to. One of our incredible producers, Michael Dean, said that he was almost a victim of a scam or was, and he said the email was so dead on to the emails he had been receiving right up until he purchased his home. It was only a one-letter difference in the name of the company that you would, and it was a strange name anyway. So they're really good. It's not, the email's not going to look ridiculous like a 10-year-old did it.
Yeah.
It's going to look official. So make sure to be extra scrupulous, because unfortunately the world is filled with a lot of good people, but all it takes is one bad person sitting at home every day trying to figure out how to take your money.
Very true. Scrupulous is also a fantastic word.
Ooh.